Good morning. Today I'm going to start with a common tale, one that you'll probably recognize. It all begins quietly, not with a huge moment of betrayal or trauma, just a slow shift. One day you're trying to be helpful. A week later, you stay late because no one else will. It feels good to contribute. A month later, people assume you're always going to be the one to stay late. Your workload grows because you love taking on extra responsibilities. You're learning and you're growing and you're supporting your team. But you notice it's been a few years since your title has changed, since your compensation has changed. Your responsibilities have increased because you're very capable and you deliver. But your paycheck doesn't. Sometimes you quiet your voice instead of adding value because the people around you are incapable of running a good team. You let your boundaries stretch, and inversely, you notice that the appreciation you're receiving also shrinks. And little by little, without even noticing, you've settled for way less than you deserve and that you're worth. Not because you don't have value. It's because these little erosions, insults, they happen slowly. And when it's a slow decline, you don't notice and frankly, you get thick skin. You tell yourself, it's fine. I'm contributing to my team. I'm going to get noticed. It's temporary. I am handling it. But then one day you realize, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Hi, my name is Maria DeStoor, and I go LinkedIn Live on Tuesday mornings to share tips and tricks to help you redefine what work means to you so that it works for you and not the other way around. And the concept we're going to talk about today is called career erosion. It's that gradual wearing down of your standards, your confidence, and your worth. And it's not because you aren't awesome and you aren't contributing. It's because it's human nature to tolerate these little abuses. And today I want to stop that and talk about the shift for 2026. What have you been settling for that you will no longer tolerate? Let's dive in. Let's talk about let's talk about the guilt. Sometimes it's hard to shift from being service oriented, being team oriented, being company or organization like, I'm going to save them. I'm going to contribute. I want this to work. We all want our business places to be successful. And there's this guilt around putting our needs first. And if you're still there and you still want to keep going and doing what you're doing, then click away. But if you're ready to figure out how you can put yourself first and release what you and your career no longer deserves, then stick with me. So let's talk about these patterns, patterns that you're going to pretend not to see anymore. Where has this career erosion happened with you this year? Get out a piece of paper, jot it down. It might be you're not being compensated fairly. You've taken on roles, projects that aren't in your job description. I know people who have worked 2 jobs for a year because someone on their team was out on medical leave. You just step in and do. But for a year? Saying yes, where have you said yes out of fear, guilt, or uncertainty? Where are you over delivering with zero recognition? Where are you being the go-to for everything, but being considered for nothing? Where are you accepting misalignment because it's familiar and the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know? Just jot down your thoughts on where your career erosion has happened over the last year or years. What have you tolerated that has chipped away at your energy, your confidence, and your worth? Because clearly seeing this step of awareness will be the first step. Okay. Then the next thing we're going to do is release that identity that is keeping you stuck. The real problem often isn't the job or the boss. It's the identity that has allowed you to bend to their will and not have your boundaries. So are you living as the fixer, the team mom? I'm the reliable one. Are you the peacekeeper who can quell the temperature in any room? Are you the quiet achiever, the one who always comes through but is never recognized? Are you the one who does whatever it takes because you're a pleaser, probably at work and at home, always putting others first? Who did I become to survive this erosion in my career? And do I allow this version of me to come into 2026? Or do I need to reel it back in the form of some boundaries? This is all about the emotional shedding, the process of reevaluating what you're no longer going to tolerate and what you're not going to bring into 2026. You're going to create a new standard for yourself. And then the final step is to set the bar for 2026. Say it out loud, put it in writing, hang it on a post-it on your computer so you see it. What am I no longer willing to accept in my career? Where is my new bar? Where's the minimum standard for how I will be treated, compensated, supported, and valued in my career? You might make a mantra that you say every morning when you're brushing your teeth. I no longer accept roles where I am not paid my worth. That's a big one. I no longer accept being the emotional support system for a broken workplace or broken coworkers or a broken manager. Insert here. I no longer accept underpaying my talents. My new bar will be collaborating, not martyrdom, not just being the one, I'll just do it. Collaboration. My new bar is to find aligned work, not just take the first thing that comes along because I'm feeling desperate. So seeing it, naming it, these are the steps you need to take to shed these behaviors in 2026. So as we close out 2025, remember, you can't just build a better career by pursuing the same, right? You build by releasing what no longer serves you and defining where you're going in 2026. I hope that you found this helpful. And in 2026, you don't have to work harder, to work smarter and differently. And today I shared tips to help you do just that. And next week I'll be out next week for the holiday week. I'll be back the next week on December 30th. And I'm going to talk about if 2025 shook your career and not in a good way, this is how you can move into 2026 stronger and ready to go. I'm excited to share that I will be speaking in person at CareerCon in Denver One of the other headliners is Andrew Hudson, as in Andrew Hudson of the famous job board for the Denver region. We are going to be sharing so many actionable strategies and insights into exactly what is happening in the job market. If you are planning a career pivot in 2026 and can get to the Denver metro region, join us. I will put information on how you can grab your ticket below. See you soon.